All right, so you ready to like dive into some serious wisdom today?
Sideways.
Okay, good. I like your enthusiasm. Today we are going to be cracking open the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Have you ever read it?
I have read the Bhagavad Gita. It's a wonderful text.
Yeah, and it's super popular, right? Like it's been around for like over 2,000 years.
At least.
At
So
least.
clearly it stood the test of time.
It's a classic for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for those who maybe haven't cracked it open yet, what is it, essentially?
So the Bhagavad Gita is a 700-verse Hindu scripture.
Okay.
And it's been guiding people for centuries, as you said. And it's really like, I think you said it well. It's like a cheat sheet for dharma, karma, and spiritual liberation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you want to kind of get a grasp on some of these big concepts, this is a good place to start. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even though it's like nestled within this larger epic, the Mahabharata,
Right.
the Gita really does stand strong on its own as like a guide to navigating life's challenges
Okay.
and understanding like your true nature.
So how does it do that? What's going on in the Bhagavad Gita?
So picture this. You have Arjuna, who's a warrior prince,
Okay.
and he's facing this huge moral crisis right on the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
And his charioteer Krishna, who just so happens to also be a manifestation of God,
Casual.
right, steps in to guide him. And this dialogue between them, that is the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, so we're talking about like some heavy stuff here. We've got a battlefield, we've got warrior prince, we've got Krishna.
It's intense.
Yeah. But I guess in a way life can feel like a battlefield sometimes, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Every day we face our own battles, don't we?
Exactly. So how is this ancient wisdom organized? How is it structured?
So imagine it as like a roadmap, but for your spirit.
Okay. I like that.
Okay, the Gita unfolds in 18 chapters,
Okay.
and each one kind of explores specific themes that all build upon each other.
Okay.
And you can group these chapters into 3 sections of 6.
Okay.
It's kind of like pit stops on your journey to enlightenment.
I'm intrigued. So tell me more about the first pit stop. What wisdom awaits?
So the first section dives right into karma yoga,
Okay.
which is all about selfless action.
Okay, everyone thinks they know karma, right?
Right. What goes around comes around.
Exactly. But I have a feeling the Gita's take on this concept goes a little bit deeper than that.
100%. It is so much more nuanced than that.
Okay, good. So
Mhm.
tell us more.
So the Gita really emphasizes this idea of acting in accordance with your dharma,
Okay.
which is your duty, without getting so caught up on the results. And this detachment from the results of your actions is key to breaking free from suffering.
Okay, so there's another word, dharma.
Right.
Another one that I think is maybe thrown around a lot, but I'm not sure everyone really grasps it. So can we unpack that a bit? What is dharma?
Absolutely. Think of your dharma as your unique path, your purpose.
Okay.
It's about really understanding your place in the grand scheme of things
Okay.
and fulfilling your role with integrity.
So it's about fulfilling your duty without being hung up on what the outcome is.
Yes.
Which I imagine would be very valuable for somebody like Arjuna, who is in the heat of battle facing a moral crisis.
Absolutely. It would be very valuable to him.
So speaking of the battlefield, why a battlefield? Right.
Like, what's the deeper meaning there?
So that's where the genius of the Gita setting comes in.
Okay.
The battlefield isn't just a backdrop. It's a really powerful symbol for the internal struggles we all face.
Okay.
It's like a metaphor for these epic battles that are raging within our own minds.
So you're saying, like, should I order takeout or should I cook a healthy meal?
Exactly. Maybe not as epic as a war, but
That's the idea.
you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
We all experience those internal tug-of-wars.
Totally.
So just like Arjuna on the battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
we have to learn how to confront these inner conflicts head-on with
Okay.
clarity and courage. And by doing that, we can discover this inner peace, even when everything around us feels chaotic.
Okay, so in the midst of all the chaos and uncertainty, the Bhagavad Gita is offering us a path toward inner peace.
Yeah. Okay, no wonder it's resonated with people for literally centuries.
It's a timeless message.
Yeah. So we've touched upon karma yoga,
Yes.
but the Gita doesn't offer just one path to liberation.
No, it doesn't.
It presents several, and we're going to talk about those.
Yes.
We're going to get into jnana yoga and bhakti yoga as well.
Each offering unique ways to find that lasting peace.
All right, so let's talk about those. What exactly is jnana yoga, and how does it differ from the path of action?
Let's do it.
We're diving into jnana yoga next.
So jnana yoga, that's like the philosopher's path.
Okay.
It's all about using knowledge and wisdom to achieve liberation.
Okay.
So imagine yourself like diving deep into the nature of reality,
Okay.
peeling back those layers and like uncovering your true self.
Okay, so if karma yoga is about selfless action, This is more about contemplation, self-discovery. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
meditating on the big questions,
Yes,
this
exactly.
life, the universe, everything.
It's about moving beyond the illusions of the material world
Okay.
and recognizing this eternal, unchanging essence that's within you. The Atman.
Okay, the Atman, there's another term. Can you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, so the Atman is like the real you,
Okay.
the soul, the inner spark of the divine.
Okay.
It's not your thoughts, it's not your feelings, it's not even your physical body.
Right.
It's the essence that observes it all.
Okay, so Jnana Yoga is about realizing we're more than just our physical selves.
Yes.
That there's this deeper spiritual dimension to who we are.
Exactly. And when you start to realize this,
Yeah.
the Gita suggests that that brings profound peace.
Okay.
Because the Atman, your true self, is eternal. It's not bound by the same limitations.
Right. As like the physical world is.
It's like realizing you're not just the wave crashing on the shore.
Sure.
You're like the entire ocean.
Beautiful. I love that.
It's a good visual.
Yeah.
Okay, so this concept of the Atman connects to the idea of reincarnation as well, right?
It does. The Gita says that the Atman is reborn into different bodies
Okay.
until it reaches liberation.
Okay. I'm sure some listeners are like, oh, reincarnation, that's interesting. How does understanding this Atman help us to kind of navigate this cycle of death and rebirth?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So imagine you're facing a tough choice in your life, right? The part
yeah.
of you that's weighing the options,
Right.
that inner voice that's guiding you,
Yes.
that's the Atman.
Okay.
And it carries the wisdom of all your past experiences,
Oh.
even if you don't consciously remember them.
So it's like this inner wisdom helps us to break free from maybe negative patterns and make choices that are going to lead to our growth and eventually help us transcend this need for reincarnation.
Exactly. It's about aligning your actions with the wisdom of your soul
Okay.
and moving towards this state where you're no longer bound by that cycle of karma and rebirth.
Okay, so Jnana Yoga, again, about knowledge, self-reflection, connecting with our true selves. But what about Bhakti Yoga,
Yes.
the path of devotion?
So if Jnana Yoga is the path of the mind, Bhakti Yoga is the path of the heart.
Okay.
It's about cultivating this deep love and devotion for the divine,
Okay.
which is represented in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna.
So it's less about intellectual understanding and more about just cultivating a relationship.
100%. It's
Yeah.
very personal,
Well, yeah.
very emotional.
So how do people do that? How do they cultivate that?
So bhakti yogis might express their devotion through different practices, like prayer chanting rituals,
Okay.
or simply by just seeing the divine in everything around them.
Okay, so it's a much more maybe internal process?
It can be.
Yeah.
It's really up to the individual
Okay.
and how they feel called to express that devotion.
So we've got Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. They all offer something a little different.
I love that. They're like different flavors of spiritual growth.
Yeah, and are we supposed to choose one? Or can we kind of...
That's the beauty of the Gita.
Yeah,
You don't have to choose. They can all complement each other.
they can all work together.
Absolutely.
So it's not about picking the right one. It's about kind of finding what resonates with you on your journey.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Gita reminds us that there are many ways to experience the divine, to find peace, to live a meaningful life. It's about creating your own unique recipe for spiritual growth.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered a lot in this deep dive. We talked about the battlefield of the mind, the power of selfless action, the journey of self-discovery through Jnana Yoga, and the expression of devotion in Bhakti Yoga. It's clear that this text is not just some ancient text.
No.
It's a guidebook.
It's timeless wisdom.
Yes, for navigating the challenges of life and finding your own path to peace and fulfillment. But as we kind of start to wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway that you really want our listeners to carry with them? It really is amazing how the Gita manages to be like so profoundly philosophical and also so incredibly practical, like all at the same time.
It's grounding.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah, if you had to like pick one nugget of wisdom, just one idea that you really think encapsulates the essence of the Gita, what would it be?
You know, for me, it always comes back to that idea of selfless action, like that detachment from the results. It's so simple,
Yeah.
yet so profound.
So it's not about like resigning yourself to fate or just like being passive, but it's more about approaching your actions with this sense of purpose,
Yeah.
this commitment to doing what's right without being so attached to like what's in it for me.
Exactly. 100%.
Like you're not so worried about the outcome.
Imagine you're like pouring your heart into this project at work, right?
Okay.
A karma yogi wouldn't be consumed by the desire to get that promotion or even recognition for their work.
Right.
They'd be so focused on the task at hand doing their best simply because it's the right thing to do.
It's like that classic advice that's always easier said than done.
Right.
But that detachment, that ability to let go of the expectations, it sounds so freeing.
It is freeing.
Yeah.
It's like you're releasing the pressure valve
Yeah, no wonder Krishna calls it the key to liberation from suffering.
because we cause so much of our own suffering
Right.
with those attachments to outcomes.
Exactly. We're so attached to things going our way,
Yes.
and when they don't, we suffer.
And it's interesting because the Gita's message is so relevant
Totally.
to our modern lives.
Yes.
Even though it was written thousands of years ago,
Right.
I mean, we are constantly bombarded
Yes.
with these messages about achieving success and happiness and fulfillment.
Yes.
But the Gita reminds us that tree peace
Yeah.
that comes from within,
It does.
from aligning your actions with your dharma and letting go of the need to control everything.
It's really making me think about this in the context of just like our everyday lives, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about saying like, oh, I'm going to withdraw from the world and be completely indifferent to everything.
Right.
It's more about how do I engage with my life fully, but also cultivate that inner peace.
Yes, it's like a dance.
It is a dance.
It takes practice.
Yeah.
But the beauty is the Gita gives us the tools, the steps to navigate that dance with grace and purpose.
It does. For those listening who are like, okay, this is really interesting, I want to learn more,
Okay.
where do you suggest people start?
That's great.
I mean, it is 700 verses.
Yeah, it can feel a little daunting.
It can be a little intimidating.
It can. But the beauty of it is you can kind of dip in anywhere.
Okay.
Find a translation that speaks to you.
Okay.
Start with the chapter that you're drawn to
Okay.
and just see where it leads you.
So don't be afraid to just jump in.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way to do it.
No, and there's so many resources available now.
There are.
You've got translations, you've got commentaries, there's podcasts like this one.
Exactly.
Just don't be afraid to explore the different interpretations.
Yeah. Find what speaks to you.
And find what speaks to you personally.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective.
It's been a pleasure being here.
And I'm walking away with a lot to think about.
Good. Remember, the Gita is like a wellspring of wisdom.
Okay.
The more you draw from it, the more it offers.
I love that. So to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and maybe inspired you to embark on your own exploration of the Bhagavad Gita. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep diving deep into the wisdom of the ages.